Hey, what it do? Yo, what it do, y'all? This your guy, Mail Mann. We back in the building, baby. And y'all know I'm back to run my mouth again. We back to talk some more, man. I'm about to talk with the fam and make this thing pop, man. I got a guest panel tonight, and we about to get ready and talk and run our mouth, man. And we about to get ready and poke and make some people mad. So we're gonna be poking y'all tonight. Some of y'all gonna get mad because we poking y'all. And why we gonna be poking y'all tonight? Because we are talking about why don't relationships last today in 2023? It is April the what 30th, 2023. And I was looking on YouTube earlier today. They are talking about in the in the wedding industry, the wedding business, 9,000 jobs are about to be lost. 9,000 jobs are about to be lost. Now, why are 9,000 jobs on the verge of being lost? Because people are not getting married no more. Dudes don't propose to the women no more. They ain't going out here to say, hey, getting down on one knee and saying, baby, will you spend forever with me? Will you be with me until you got gray hairs, until you don't have no more teeth, until you can't speak no more? They not doing that no more, man. They saying, I'm going overseas across the water, and I'm gonna go find me a woman that's submissive, that's gonna cook, that's gonna come home and clean, that's not gonna argue with me all day, that's not gonna give me all these tongue lashings. I'm not gonna go back and do it. They're going over across the water and the jobs are getting affected. It was a major store chain. I can't think. It was Bridal or something. Major store chain that is going bankrupt because people are not getting married. And so now we're gonna bring up this topic about why don't relationships last anymore in 2023. So as we move forward, I want y'all to make sure to be looking out for the new iammailmann website coming real soon. I'm working on that to get that up and running real fast. We're going to be shooting some movies and running movies. Y'all always know I got a lot of things I'm working on, a lot of irons in the fire. But before we keep this thing rolling of me running my mouth, let me bring in my guest panel tonight so we can get this thing this topic rolling. We have two ladies and we got there's two gentlemen right now, myself and another gentleman. We're waiting on one more to come in, and we're gonna hear some opinions. And some gonna be politically correct, and some gonna be like, this how I feel, and some gonna be in between the both. But we're gonna give our opinions in this I Am Mail Man. Let's talk about it podcast. Let's get ready and make it happen, baby. Y'all ready? Hey, I got my first gentleman here, Steve Paul Creations. Man, Steve Paul, welcome to the show, my brother.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Next, I got Miss Jai. Y'all done seen Miss Jalise on plenty of the podcast.
Hi, how's everyone doing?
We debate and we go back and forth, y'all. So welcome, Jai, to the
That light on over here.
And we have the lovely Jermeka, y'all. Y'all know this.
Thanks, God.
I always have to give her flowers, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, man. So welcome, y'all. Welcome to I Am Mailman podcast. Well, we are about to get ready and talk and speak how you feel. Nobody got to hold back their tongue. Don't feel like nothing that you got to hold back. That you can't be you. Just be you, man. Because the whole purpose of I Am Mailman is to be you. So we are talking about. We are in 2023, and I was just saying here as the intro that it's a major bridal store that is going out of business. They're going bankrupt now, and over 9,000 people are up for losing their jobs on this if this company closes down. Well, they're going to lose their job because the company is closing down. And they're saying on the news report, now it's not factual saying that this is actual, but I mean, if you kind of look at it, it kind of could be factual that the reason why this bridal store is going out of business is because weddings are on a massive decline. People are not getting married no more. It's no longer to where people are getting married. Like back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you had these big extravagant weddings. Everybody want to get married and they just want to show out. People are not doing that. So I guess the question would come, who controls the marriage nowadays? Is it men since we don't propose no more? Or is it women? Because since women don't but I guess it would be men because women want to get married and it's the men that don't want to get married. And would I be right on that? And y'all,
Some women don't want to get married either because y'all put them through bullshit.
But if you look at majority though, who is the majority? I think you got more women that would rather be married than men.
Not nowadays. Not nowadays.
Yeah, I
Not
don't think so.
nowadays. It's not the same. It's not the same effect as we had it.
Y'all think it's equal?
Yeah,
I think it's more about people understanding the values of their self-worth as well as marriage, understanding what it is to be committed. Commitment is not the same. Marriage is not the same. People don't view the vows the same as they used to, and integrity has changed a lot. I feel.
And in addition to that, like, you know, vows were taken seriously back in the day because Christianity and the belief in God was stronger.
Right.
You have nowadays you have less people that believe in God so if you don't believe in God, then how do you believe in your vows when the vow is to God? Like, that's crazy.
I think I believe in God though, but I think I know for me, I don't see a benefit in getting married.
Of course you don't.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's not even just what is the benefit for. And before I speak how I feel, I'm asking, see, what as a man, what do you feel is the benefit of you if you was to get married? What would be the benefit of it?
I'll go ahead. I'm going to speak on the benefit as a woman. The benefit of being married to a male is the fact that once you leave, if we have children, the benefits of that will be major effective to our children as well as our livelihood. Being your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your side piece has no value because whatever you work for, whatever you've done, and whatever you committed in life goes back to the state treasurer's office as if it's just you're a recycled life.
And then you go on the obituary as that special friend.
Right. That late night cream.
I can put that in my will of my power of attorney who I wanted to everything.
That may be true, but it'd be challenged in a way that you're not there to actually you want it to be smooth. If I'm your spouse, I just go straight to the Social Security office. But if I put in the will, I gotta go to a state court. There's a lot that comes with that. It's just not just, hey, here's a check, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't work like that.
But what if I put it in a trust? A trust is way better. You're right. It can be challenged inside of a will. But if I put it in a trust, the trust is what manages it. So
anything can be contested if you guys aren't wedded.
I mean, but if you look at it, if you married, you can contest certain things. So if you can't look at it as contesting, because you can contest anything. So
but you have a better leg to stand on as a married,
a better opportunity.
As a single couple that were just shacking and boyfriend and girlfriend.
Okay, so so that paints on the pictures of how it benefits you as a woman. Now, Steve, how does it benefit you as a man?
Well, I know that marriage is a business. You know, it's a business contract. So ideally, you want to marry somebody that's going to help you in your foundation that you're building.
Right.
You know, and I think nowadays, a lot of women don't want that. I think men still want to get married, but they don't want everything that's coming along with it because I don't think women view the ideal of marriage the way men view it. You know, and it's been like that for the past few years now. Women kind of have been challenging the ideology of society and how it's been ran by men. So they're kind of like, kind of shunning men from how things are and everything like that. But marriage is a business, first and foremost. And you don't really have to be in love with the person to be married to her, but it makes life better if you are.
So you okay? Well, before you say that, Ja, hold on. You said it makes life better. How?
If you're in love and in a marriage, and both understanding is there that the marriage is to continue to build the foundation together and everything like that. Meaning that love is not going to sway. It's not going to go and help your enemy out to take down your empire.
So if you
You know
have
what I'm saying?
understanding, you're saying if you have understanding in the marriage.
Right. It's easier to be with somebody that you're in love with because you go all out for that person. Now, if you don't have any love and it's just a business thing, then it might be a situation to where, you'd be like, it's not personal, it's all business, and somebody could get cut. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
well, that's not. Go ahead,
I
please.
kind of, so can I say, can I interject, please? Like, two things. Let me get my mind together. First thing is that I think everybody looks at marriage sometimes in the wrong light or differently or whatever, but like the ultimate goal, the ultimate thing for marriage for me is that there's somebody there that's going to take care of me if I can't take care of myself. Like if I'm, God forbid, something happens to me and I'm not able to physically care for me, like there's somebody there to do that. The same thing for my spouse. Like I want to be able to care for that person that I'm married to, whether it's, you know, shoot, God forbid, changing his diaper when he gets 80 years old, 90 years. You know what I'm saying? Like I take care of this lady now, and she doesn't have anybody. There's no one there. There's my one of my girls. She has a client. He's a male, and he's never been married. And he lived his bachelor lifestyle his entire life. No kids, no nothing. And now that he's old, he has to pay someone to come in and take care of him. Like that's sad.
Can you afford it?
Understood. For me, marriage is finding your soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about time. It's about understanding and being with somebody that completes you, being with somebody that understands you,
Right.
being with somebody who understands your flaws, to understand that one day you'll go from being a young woman to an older woman, and they still love you just as much. The possibility of something ever happened to you in life, I still love you just the same way I felt when I look into your eyes as if you're not the same person anymore. Um, Marriage and commitment today is different because of so many things that are added on to actually interrupt, as I call interrupt the flow of communication, fidelity.
Let me ask you something. What do you think was added on? What is added?
I would put Pornhub up there. I would put Instagram.
Well, I think porn has always. But let me say this.
How did
Hold on, wait a
Pornhub
minute.
mess up the relationship?
Because listen, before back in the day, it was no television, and they were in
Exactly.
order to consummate. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
In order to
magazine.
consummate your marriage, you were fucking in front of people.
Yeah,
So I
magazine.
think Pornhub is a thing. And
Right.
to piggyback off of what Reggie said in the introduction, when he was talking about people going overseas to find women,
Yeah. Passport brothers.
I feel like the way that society has always been a patriarchal world. Like it's always been a man's world, and so when things wait a minute. So when things don't go a man's way, what does he do but throw a temper tantrum and decide how another way to get his
That baby
No, I can't indulge no.
But listen,
A grown man now. Toddler might do that. A guy that's a grown toddler, but a man.
I ain't finished.
No, a man.
Finished.
Go ahead.
All right. So no, on the real tip though, you were saying like men go overseas to find women that's going to be submissive and cook and clean. I think the terminology submissive and submit has been taken out of context. And so and it has been misconstrued within society to fit this image that people have conjured, but not to be what it was meant to be, or what it was used for in the beginning. Women are submissive. Women will submit to you as long as you are doing what you're supposed to as a man. And it doesn't take you beating your chest to say that I'm this alpha
But see,
male.
this is the dilemma.
It spews off of you. You don't have to speak in a certain way or treat a woman, harshly or whatever to speak to you being an alpha male. As long you
Exactly.
being a man in itself, you handling your duties. A woman doesn't. If you a woman doesn't use
Naturally.
so right,
You have
absolutely.
a lot of men.
Naturally.
Our men and women are leaving them because they say they get bored.
No,
Those
that's
are
not.
men
But you
who
just
just
because
kind of
you're an
like,
alpha male don't mean that you're a boring man. You could go out here and still have fun. But men are so scared. Women too. We're scared to have
Yeah, yeah.
adults are fearful of having raw
fun.
conversations. We can't have healthy conversations. We're always pointing the finger at who's wrong or who's right. When the purpose of a debate or an argument is to literally find a solution to say, hey, look, there's a problem here and we need to find a solution. The
So who
solution
getting
isn't that
that?
you're the
This
problem.
is
Who getting that? Well, go ahead, Steve.
Go
Go ahead.
ahead, Steve. I'm listening.
this is the dilemma. See, right now, the reason why you got passport bros going to other countries because most of the other cultural, other ethnic groups are staying within the conservative way of how women and men should be and everything, except for women here in America.
Yes.
Now,
Uh,
I
especially
don't.
black
wait
women
a
in
minute.
America.
I'm sorry.
Now,
I gotta see something on
Go
that.
ahead, Jermeka.
no,
Because
no,
this
I,
really
I
was
agree
wisdom
with
tonight,
it.
baby.
Let's not because for one, you have to be those men who are from other origins to understand what they go through in other cultures. And if you're not that person or that origin, it's hard for you to relate. There are a lot of men of different origins that won't ghetto, that won't that black woman, that won't that natural attitude. There are a lot of men, you don't know it because you're male. But there are men that from other cultures that just truly want to be a part of who we are as women. That trust me, I go
But
through it all the
Well, I
time.
got
And
but
my
that's not the
friend is from
majority.
Africa,
That's not the
and
majority.
she just
but
divorced her
that's not always the
husband.
majority, and that's not always total. That's not
But this
always
is what
total
I'm.
because
My friend
But
is
this
from
is where
Africa,
I
and
need to go with it.
she just divorced her husband for some of the same worldly things that we have issues with here. But see, people don't. They don't. A lot of people see on the outside of what it is. Because when you go visit, these women are waiting on you hand and foot because they need to come over here, baby. They want to come to the
But that
they
States
doesn't
and
want
get
to
a
that
come
green
into
doesn't that
card.
doesn't disprove
that part.
what I'm saying. That's
So
saying
what's the
because
difference between
this
a
is
woman
a
wanting
more
what she
liberal
wants
country.
here? What's the difference between a woman using you here and a woman using you over there?
Hold on. Let me show you. So let me show you though. A lot of them women don't want to come to America. They want to stay in their country. They love their country.
I
They don't.
can't tell
They
because
don't.
the application for female women to come over here is way higher than the males.
No,
I can't
Absolutely.
tell.
a
That's
lot.
all statistics.
I have men. They only want the money, the money value.
That's good.
So why
Our
be with
money value
somebody
is
like that?
higher.
And
Why
they
be with
want some of
someone who
that
only
ghetto
wants
love too.
monetary stuff from you? That shit is crazy
But
to
it
me. I
doesn't.
don't get it.
But a lot of them women, they want to
if
be.
she
So the value of love is there's a price on it now.
look. No, it doesn't matter if
Now
she
is doing.
is willing to do what it takes in order to get with the man from America. Then why would the man be like, no, I'm going to struggle with the ones that are fighting against me
Because
instead of the
eventually
ones that
that's what it's going to
is
be
submissive?
first.
Let's not.
And then once that goes out, then what?
I'm not saying all
It's
of.
still a
I'm not saying
struggle.
everybody's
I'm
that way.
just gonna say. Can I
Just
say
saying
it?
that's a lot of
Can I
Say
say
it.
it?
Please say it, Jermeka. Go ahead,
Can I
girl.
say it? We are tired of you guys looking for your mothers and your women. We are sick of it.
Say
We
it.
are sick of it. You know why? Because
That's it.
everybody that wakes up in the morning, we have two
No,
hands.
you might choke.
Hold
I'm
on.
buzzing a little bit.
We have two hands. See, I've been in a situation where I've been laying in the bed, and you've been laying in the bed, and you want some juice, and you want me to go get it. Well, what's wrong with your hand?
because I go and do the
Listen,
work
make
so
it
we can
make sense.
afford to buy the juice.
Steve, make it make sense. Because
My mama used to do that to me. She used to be laying right there by the
because
remote.
I'm the woman. I'm
Come
expected to get out of bed comfortable, and I got in my
That's why
position
you
of
have
my
children.
smart to service you. And if I don't do this, then I'm not being obedient.
Okay.
I'm not being compliant.
All right. Hold on.
I'm not being.
Hold on.
I'm not.
Okay,
You understand?
I get you. What you were saying and what Jay said, what Jermeka said. What was your response, Steve?
That's why we make children. We had the children do all the work after that.
Absolutely. That's what Mama used to say. She'd say, I have kids. That's what my kids are for. I don't need no
Nah.
dishwasher. That's what I got kids for. Y'all go wipe those dishes.
I didn't dirty up those dishes. You watch. That was my whole attitude, my whole life. Because it had to make sense to me.
Would you not?
Why do I have to do it when you're capable of doing it?
So let me ask. Let me ask.
Would you not go get that juice if Jesus asked you to go get it?
He better go get his own juice.
I don't think you know what
Put him in the house. What you mean?
Here it is. Here comes the boom. You know what, Jesus? Your feet work
Jesus
just like
know my
mine.
heart.
I think Jesus would have loved me to death because I would have been so direct with Jesus. It would have scared the Lord. You understand me?
Hey, but Jesus gave you the feet.
Well,
he got
you
his own.
also gave me the brain to think for
Even if I
myself.
tell him no, I'm still forgiven.
I'm already prayed for. Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
Hallelujah. Praise him.
After the show, they're gonna be like, Jesus, you know I was just messing with them, right? You know I was just
it's big challenge for me. It's big challenge for me.
She just put on the show for the TV, but she going to get the juice.
Nah, but let me say this though. What about the women that do still do that? What about those women that still cook home cooked meals?
They still exist, but it's hard to find those women these days.
Yeah. But when you do find them, you don't even know what to do with them when you get them. This is what men say. Men say they want X, Y, and Z. They get X, Y, and Z, and probably a little more than that. But then they don't know what to do with it, and they fumble it.
That's not all men, though. That's just like it's not all women. It's not all men.
Well, I'm gonna start fucking cooking.
I'm gonna start
cooking. I'm gonna start buying hamburger.
Let me tell you something. You can provide all these services, and it's still gonna be something.
It won't be enough.
It's still gonna be something. Well, you could have put a little more pepper on so and so. It's gonna be. It's about the point of appreciation. It's about the point that I want to be here to do these things for you. I want to be in your life to make you feel like, hey, you're gonna feel me cook your meal. But at the same time, my brother, you got 2 hands too.
Well, let me ask you,
a lot of times women
are doing.
Hold on, women will give 70, and then to your 30% that you think is 1,000% is really like 25%.
Well, maybe that 30% is a big 30%.
You know, women are working more outside the household. Then you can't expect for me to be your wife, chef, laundry person, nurse, provider, sex slave, this and that. Work 12 hours, then respect you on top of everything, and then make sure that I'm your partner. I'm not your wife. I'm your partner at that point. So
I don't. So for me, I don't mind those things. Like, but again,
and I don't mind.
Again, you have to be able to hold your weight as well. Like, you can expect all this from me, but then you don't walk in my house as a man.
Who says we don't?
I do. I say you don't.
For me to boot it over.
Because that has
maybe
been
it's the man that's maybe it's the man that's how women is choosing though.
Nah, it don't even be that.
It's the way of the world now.
No.
You guys need more help than you.
I don't think that's what it is. I think, honestly, to be honest with you, Reggie, I think what it is that I think that men have this thing where they forget that even though women are supposed to be submissive, they forget the part where men are supposed to also be the man. Like they miss that part.
But you don't allow us to be the man.
And you have to also allow the man to be the man.
Right. So and that's another thing. So here's the thing. But you also have to understand that our Black women have been left to be the man and the woman in their lives for a long time. Wait a minute. So just like you talk about how mamas raise these boys and this is why they still boys and not men, you have to understand that our women have been abandoned and they've been forced to play both roles.
But
so yes,
in the beginning,
let me tell you.
When we behind stage though, hold on though. Let me add. Then you say when we backstage, shit, you got to grow up soon.
But that ain't about growing up. She did grow up. She grew up into 2 roles. So when a man enters into that woman's life, he has to understand that she's played those two roles for so long that there has to be some type of grace given so that she can actually relax. And allow you to be that man.
Why should a man go for the one that's been playing the two roles instead of the one that hasn't been playing?
Because that bitch probably don't cook, clean, or nothing. That other one that you want to do,
a lot of men also go for lust. Hold on a second.
What he do is go out there and shake that ass and whatever. And there you
a lot of men go for lust.
You wonder why you got hamburger help on the stove and not no collard greens, no fried chicken.
Let me tell you something. A lot of men go for lust. They go for what they see with their eyes.
They're shallow, right? Very shallow.
Or men, and they go for, and I don't mean to say it and reiterate it in this way, but a lot of men go for lust and what they see. They don't care the fact that she don't know how to cook. They don't care the fact that she got a 5th grade education. They don't. All they care about
that little yellow bus with the dark windows.
Can I go clap, clap, clap? And that right there has scarred a lot of women like ourselves who are at home, who do believe in taking care of the man, who does believe in not only taking care of the man, but going outside the house, working 12 hours, again, still do your womanly duty. Because a lot of men go to work, they put their clothes on, they get their lunch, they go to work, they come home, and they still expect to be treated as a kid. But as your woman who has to get up before you,
honestly, like,
and all this other stuff. And we're not giving, like she said, the grace that we need to relax. Because you're still expecting more from us than what you're often giving to us.
What you're giving, right?
But first things first, when you get into a relationship, ideally you want to make sure that both partners are on the same page, and everyone's agreeing to how you want to have a relationship. So it doesn't have to be the way society says it. You can have a relationship however you want it, as long as both parties agrees by doing that. And a lot of times that's how it's supposed to take place. But because everybody's trying to live this society relationship, which right now society is a foreign society for Black folks in America, because, you know, the system is not built for us and the way we supposed to be living and everything. But everybody's trying to live this system. And now that's a segue to go back to what I was about to bring in, is that the dilemma is with Black Americans, Black man in America and Black woman in America, is that the Black woman has 2 men in her life, the Black man and the white man. The white man giving her the job and taking her to college and all that, and y'all will
giving her food stamps and all that extra.
So now the Black man competing with this white man, and you sitting up here making yourself equal or better than a Black man because of the white man.
Not all of a sudden, because before that, 70% of African American men were in the household. This is before all this food stamps and all this other stuff, AFDC and all that. 70% of the African American male were in the household with their children.
In the 60s?
Yeah. But in between the 70s and in between a little bit. So a lot of times, and not only that, either that, there was also either Vietnam, because they sent 30% of African American men over there to fight in the war. You understand?
But let me say this though. Back in those days, those men were still they just respected their relationships in the household a lot more. Like they were still out here fucking now. They were still out here making babies. But that chick, she knew her place. And she knew that home was where he laid his head at, and that was over there. That was over there.
Man, she about to pull up on you. That's it. She got in
my granddad had 21 grandchildren by my grandmother, and right across the street, he had 7 other children across the street from the neighbor. And
he died, right?
My grandmother knew her place. She never walked across that street and asked, "Where's my husband over?" Her house was taken care of, her kids were taken care of, and so on. We had to endure so much to be women. To be Black women, to be respected as Black women. We had, y'all men went through so much. Oh my God!
The marriages last
women have been stepped on for years and expect to keep our heads up. Black girl magic. We got this and that. Black women are the most rejected, disrespected species on the planet. But we're still told that hold your head up, still look young, don't, let it out. We're expected to carry more of the blame of the bullshit of the world than any species of woman on the planet. And still at the end of the day, we still have to be faced with past what, bro, because you want somebody to do what you want to do. I will follow you if you are following me, if you are taking me in the right direction.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you. Black women do have it hard. I'm not gonna say that they don't. Matter of fact, I'm gonna even show y'all something. We're gonna continue the conversation, but I want to show y'all something. To show you why I also agree with you on that, because I'm going to be doing a topic on that. But while I'm putting this up to show y'all, is I want to say this. Just because black women have been saying that a long time that they have it the hardest, and I'm not saying that they don't, because I agree with you on that.
We're tired.
But we still the same way that they say we as men. Okay, we men and had it just as hard. So when do y'all tell us men that, hey, come on, you got to put it together, suck it up now. Okay, you had it hard, but pull it together, get it together now.
You're correct. You're correct.
It's the same thing with the woman. Okay, come on, get it together, baby. We get you to have it hard, but come on now. You gonna have to. You gotta. Put
and we still have to compete with white women.
We have to compete
Asian
with
women, black, even our own black women. We still have to compete. We still have to be made to feel like we're not pretty enough, young enough, and all this other beautiful enough, smart enough, and we still have to deal with that outside of what black men go through. So what you guys go through, we go through even more. We go through, and because the simple fact is we have to get it from both sides. The black side, the white side, and the other side. We get it. You guys get it, but we get it. Because we are always expecting for black women to be able to be that key founder holder. And I think you said something about the fact that it's hard for me to lay down and have a great relationship when I'm struggling and I'm going through something. And that is why a lot of people are losing relationships, because they're tired of holding on to that grip. They're tired of holding on. And then they don't see anything that all you see in the news is the same old thing. Every day you wake up the same old thing. We are wanting our black men to stand up and be kings so we can be proud to be kings.
No, I agree with you on that. I agree it's hard. Now let me show. I'm gonna show y'all this. We're gonna talk about this, and this is more on the racism side, and this shows you how black women do have it hard. So I'm not gonna say that they don't, but they do. I'm gonna play this right quick so I can show y'all. Now look at this. See how this little white girl. Look at how many people come and check up on this little white girl. Look at all these people that's stopping by to make sure she.
Oh, okay. I saw that.
All these.
Yeah, she's okay.
Now look at the
little black girl.
She's standing right there. Ain't not one person walk up here to check on her.
Exactly. I saw that today.
Now
but that's how it is. Even we remember we had this conversation on the last podcast. How black men do us.
But my thing is saying, I get it. So when you saying, I'm sorry, y'all. When you're saying that,
you done kicked everybody off, right?
No, we did.
When you're saying that, that black women have it hard, I'm not disagreeing with you at all on that. I mean, you look, this video here shows it speaks a lot about that. But my thing is saying, when are you gonna let it go and grow up and move on?
I understand that. We will let it go and grow up when black men grow up and stop always calling their mamas first for everything. When you go to jail, you call your mama. You're so and so, you call your mama. You don't call your daddy, you call your mama. Let's be for real. Something happened on earth, who the first person you call? Your mama and your daddy.
But it goes back to the point that Steve made earlier behind the scenes. Who raised the boys? You're following the boys.
again, you are aiding to the whole black women have it hard because again, we're being blamed for everything. There's no,
how can you not be blamed? You're the one that's raising them. You're the one that's raising them.
But why are we raising them alone, though? Why are we raising them alone?
So, but listen, right, and there we go. But see, there's no accountability on that end. There's no accountability on that end. It's all on the women, but fuck the fact that the father left and he's absent. Fuck the fact that the mama had to do whatever she needed to make sure that she was raising this child, this boy. You know, we're not worrying about that part. We're not worrying about, oh, well, he was coddled because he was fucking suicidal and I didn't know what else to do because I as a black parent raised in a black culture, that wasn't nothing talked about in our culture, so we don't know or have the tools to aid this child other than what we know. So I do the best I can as a black mother, and I'm still blamed that he wasn't raised correctly to be a man yet. And then I'm told, well, how are you gonna keep on holding on to this and yet suck it up and keep it moving? Like how dare
when our black kids stop being killed? When our black males stop being killed for being black, that's when we would let go of. When our black sons are stopped laid with foot on pavement and knees on neck, that's when a black mother would stop. Let me tell you something. Hold on, listen to this. Because this is the thing I tell a lot of parents. When our children were coming up, they didn't have to fear leaving the house at 18. And that is a lot of the issues too. Because at 18, I should be worried about going to leaving high school, graduation, getting ready to go to college, and all these other things that normal children do. But in a black household, you normally don't get that. If a child makes it to college or gets a full ride, it is celebrated as if that's the only person they can do. When there's 5 other cousins and nephews, but we don't support that. And at the end of the day, like I said, there's a lot of parents that at 18, I can't wait till you get out of my house. Well, I'm a parent of 6. My children are gone. Me and my husband empty nest. I hate the fact that my children are gone. I am lonely. I miss them.
No, well, I'm not with that now. I want my kids to
and I do. I want them to be successful. My children are successful.
And I do hope as a parent that I have equipped them with the proper tools to be successful in life and to make the correct decisions. But again, to put all the weight on the black mother, on the mother, period, that's unfair because we give men have so much slack. Like you give them so much slack and so much leeway. Like it's okay for them to be absent, and they hold no accountability for that. It's always the mother's fault.
Okay, hold on. Well, Steve wanted to say something. Go, Steve. Steve, what you were gonna say? How
do we get to this point? How do we get to this point where the man is not there? And what is the accountability?
Because men don't like to be held to the fire. Men don't like. They don't like the.
How do we get there?
How do we get there? Segregation.
Because I don't think it was segregation. I don't think it was segregation. I think it's the fact that more men have become followers and not leaders. More men follow their friends. They follow their friends, and instead of being the men that they want to be, they be the men that other people want them to be. And so, with that being said, you lose sight of what you're supposed to do because your boys think it's cool for you to do it this way.
But or what your boys say makes their son to be followers if you're gonna point it that way, because you got women that are raised their son.
But you don't have to.
I want you to be this because you
don't technically raise your kids. You don't technically raise your kids to be followers. Your kids make their own decisions. I can teach my kids right from wrong right now. Right now, my daughter is the most humblest child ever. The entire school knows her. They love her because she is humble and she is very respectful. She gets away with murder. You know what I'm saying? But when she gets out in this real world, Janiyah may not be that humble kid. She may get tired of people walking over her, and then finally she snaps one day and says, "Fuck it, I'm gonna be this tyrant." But I didn't raise her that way. Children, you can raise your children in the right way, and they can walk the same path that you want them to. But as they get older, they're given free will. They make their own choices.
You're right. They do make their own choices. But what I'm saying is, you still can't. You got women that'll have a son, and they'll take out that anger that they got from the man. And this man could have broke their heart. This man
why is it the woman? Where's the father?
Stop women.
Hold on.
Where's the father?
Hold on.
Wasn't absent.
Hold on, John. Hold on. Let me point. Okay, so the woman that got her heart broken and then she mad at this and that. What a woman would go do is sit down with her son and tell her son, baby, you need to be this way. This is how you treat a woman. This is how you do this. This is what you do.
That's not true.
Now a woman will go and sit down.
That's not true.
To be
Reggie, I have to disagree with you. That is not true. That is some women and not all women.
But that's some men and all men, though. I agree with you.
Some women, but not all women. Let me tell you, there's no parent that does not want their child to be successful in this world, have happiness, feel. There's not one parent that wants their child to suffer or go through anything.
But you can't all men are the same though, because all men are not the same. You got some good fathers.
Exactly, but you said all women.
I can actually say my daughter's father has custody of all his boys. He has full custody of all his children.
Do you guys hold Martin Luther King accountable? Do you hold Malcolm X accountable?
Yeah, because they were men. They were men too. You're not going to say that they were faithful to Coretta and all the rest of them. They were men.
I need you to wait a minute. I need you to clarify what you mean. Hold them accountable for what?
Because the way you're speaking is that this has been an ongoing thing for men for generations and everything, but yet we have men like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X who sacrificed themselves for the whole, not just for men, but for men, for black men and black women.
Yeah.
Stop it, because Martin Luther King and Malcolm X were men that cheated on their wives. Okay? And that is
factual. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me say this. Martin Luther King, God rest his soul, he was a really good leader. I'm sure he was.
And he is.
He was, but he also was a societal thinker. You know, let's take the Rosa Parks thing for example. Rosa Parks was not the first lady, the first person or the first black woman to refuse her seat.
Exactly.
It was a 16-year-old pregnant girl, and because she didn't fit the stereotype, they replayed or redid the whole stance, and put Rosa Parks there, and Rosa Parks took the accolades for something someone else did. He was still a societal thinker. He was still a societal thinker. Hold her accountable for what?
For taking the role that she wasn't.
She did exactly what you guys expect her to do. She became submissive, correct?
But you gotta
she did what she wanted.
We didn't force her to do that.
You don't know she wasn't forced. We don't know what was it.
We don't know that. You can't prove that.
We don't know that she wasn't forced to do it. We don't know what the repercussions were if she didn't.
You can't make it fit your narrative to make it say, well, we don't know if she wasn't forced. We don't know.
Bitch, you supposed to fucking yield.
Why was she held accountable is the question. She did it. We know she did it. That's a fact. So if that's a fact,
yeah, but we know as a young black woman.
We know a lot of other facts.
Wait a minute. But we knew.
Don't find a way.
We knew. But again, here we go. Here we go again, talking about why Rosa Parks wasn't held accountable, and we just shifted it off for Martin Luther King again. That's what society does. When they shift the narrative off of the man and put all of the weight on the woman.
It's not even
though every person did not write this song, you remember the Hound Dog, doesn't mean that song has never existed. For example, when Elvis Presley stole that song, or you remember the Hound Dog from the lady who received only $500 when he received millions, that doesn't mean that didn't exist. Things like that exist before they become factual. They exist before they even become factual. Like the lady who had the song before him, she sang it, she owned it. But Elvis is known for it. Same with Rosa Parks. She sat in the bus seat, but she was not the first one to go through it.
I mean, even it's still in today. You got people. It's still in 2023. you got people that are taking credit for something that could have happened 4 or 5 years.
So, but my point of it wasn't about the credit. It was the fact of saying, like, holding Martin Luther King accountable. Like, he was a societal thinker just like everyone else. It didn't have anything to do about that. It was just the point of the stigmatism of how even back then it was the same. It was the same. He was still a societal thinker. Now, Malcolm X, on the other hand, I don't know about him being a societal thinker. What I've read about him and what I've known and what I've been taught is that he stood on his own. Like, he wasn't, and when things didn't go the way that he thought they should, he stood on what he believed in. The total opposite of MLK, if you ask me.
I mean, they was totally opposite. I agree with you on that. But so you saying it was wrong for Martin Luther King to think about the society as a whole?
I think when it comes to stigmatism, yes. Like, why? How can you stand up for something or be a part of something? Talking about you don't like segregation, but yet you segregated your own people.
Exactly. That's what made us different.
Who did Martin Luther King?
We stood to our own. We stood to our own dollar. We stood in our own neighborhood. We built our own schools. We had our own churches. We had our own money system. We had a children's circuit. We had our own communication. When we went over there to Mrs. Jones' house, everything changed.
But I'm saying, who did Martin Luther King do that to?
It was in our own culture. We were,
own community.
Within our own.
It was within our own community.
Within our own culture. Like,
I'm gonna say
like
this.
when you talk about.
Let me say this: men take more responsibility and accountability for their action than women do.
That's a lie. Men make excuses.
That's a lie. That is
men, I don't believe that.
No.
I don't believe that. Men can say, just because you say, oh yeah, I did that and I fucked up, doesn't mean that you took accountability. That
and
means
it sometimes takes y'all years. It sometimes takes you years to realize when you've done something wrong. Men will sometimes make a mistake and it won't affect you to 5 years later. Oh, I had a good woman, but it won't affect you until 2 years or 3 years after you see her realize that was a doggone good woman that I had.
But women,
and it won't affect you until
get pregnant by another man and have a man think that that's his baby, and he find out when they go to the hospital when he's trying to give his child some blood 7 years later. Oh,
that's deceitful. That's deceitful and a personal trauma. That's trauma bonding. That's deceit and a personal trauma. That's something that doesn't have to happen to every man every day across the world. There's so many people that this happens to. A percentage.
Okay, but we're missing the whole point. Like, we need to gather ourselves because we're talking about why don't relationships work.
But I'm saying this all leads up to why relationships don't work, because it started. And we're now starting to see the effects of what happened
relationships
in the 70s to the 80s. Now we're seeing it in 2023, where we started seeing it.
But here's the thing, though. We've been seeing it for decades.
For years.
It changes now because the caliber of person has changed. The values have changed. What people value now, like love and respect. That women think it's okay to be hoes out here. They'll be slutted out. There's a whole fucking song. There's a whole song that says "slut me out."
There's more women that promote being a hoes nowadays than anything.
And men help them.
What Steve said.
But what I'm saying, the way they gonna talk to Steve right now, Steve is muted. Mute Steve right now. Mute Steve. Steve, let me tell you why I said that. I'm gonna tell you again, because I am one of those women who go all out in my relationship. I am the submissive one. I am the person who cooks every day, who makes sure you're good. You could call me and I'm gonna drop whatever I have on my plate. And I'm gonna make sure you're good. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm giving you all of that, I can show you, but I can show. I mean, come on, the proof is in the pudding. You can ask anybody that I've dated, and they'll tell you the same.
The relationship, and then it's a whole different story. Maybe if you can.
I go hard in my relationship, but my thing is, me giving you all of that. Me giving you all of that, I expect the same reciprocated. And when it's not, and now I'm pouring into you, and I'm empty, and you're not replenishing, you're not pouring back into me. I'm drained.
Broke your heart?
Huh?
Who was the man that broke your heart?
It don't have to be so much of breaking my heart. It's just that's just what What
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
for you to have this strong of opinion, it was an individual that gave you the experience that allowed you to develop that train of thought to say men ain't shit and fuck love.
I didn't say men ain't shit. I said fuck love. because
You
because
called
if
the
I
man, you said fuck love.
true.
But you know
So
what? I can't say that because
who is this
I love
man?
me so much.
What is his background? Who did you choose that made you say
So
fuck love?
again, you see that?
Right word.
You.
You choose. You. It was your.
Right, you.
Okay,
But
okay,
everybody
wait.
say that
Okay,
it's always you.
who forced you
But
to love them? Who forced you to love them and they didn't reciprocate it back?
I went through that in my last relationship.
Well, who forced you to do it? That's the question. Who forced you to do it?
It wasn't so much a force, it was like the trickery, you know?
So you didn't say this, you didn't see the red flag? You didn't see the red flag, sis?
Jamaica, it was the trickery. Jamaica, it was the trickery.
I know the trickery. I know it. I'm gonna tell you what it was. It started off real good.
It wasn't the penis either. I promise
you gotta keep that real wheel rolling the same way. See, what people don't get is some people start off in a relationship. Oh, it's picnics in the park every Sunday, and now why the hell you touch? You understand what I'm saying?
Did you trick a baby out of you?
Huh?
How many times did you trick a baby out of you?
3, 4, 3.
So it took you 3, 4 times before you realized it was all a trick.
No, I you know what for me?
Hey, Steve.
When I realized that, when I took accountability,
but here's the thing, though. But no, fuck Steve. Listen.
This is the thing. I had to be accountable for the fact that I didn't do my homework.
I can take accountability. Well, it ain't even so much about doing your homework. You could know somebody. You could be with somebody for 10 years and still not know them.
Girl, I didn't listen, Queen.
So,
I didn't study enough. I didn't study enough not to be accountable for that. I was not prepared for the quiz. Okay, it was a pop up.
So when did you grow up?
So
you grew up after the 4th baby?
Fuck that, I been grown. No, so listen. But listen though, here's the thing though, like men can, it seems like it's okay for men to like, so it's like this, like you know that you want this person, but you're not grown yet. You're not to that right. You're not mature enough. You're not to that point where you want to be, but you don't want anybody else to have this woman. So
you
string that woman
without buying a cow. Okay. Yeah.
And then until you're ready.
Responsibility for his children that he made with you?
Oh, we didn't have. Thank God. Praise God for whom my blessings flow. I lost my babies.
Oh no, we gonna stay there.
For any of you,
God does everything for a reason.
He does.
But you have children. You have other children, right?
I have 2.
Do the father or the father that's in their lives, do they still take responsibility for the children?
Yeah, absolutely. My daughter's father. That's what I'm saying. My daughter's father has custody of all his kids. He just don't have custody of mine because I'm a damn good mom and I'll fight his throat if you try to take my kids.
That's right, Queen.
But he has custody of all his children, and he is amazing with she's the only girl, and he does amazing with my daughter. He's not on child support or anything because he takes care of my kid.
So what's wrong with him?
What you mean?
What's wrong with him?
What do you mean? What's wrong with him?
What you have to hold him accountable for something because all men is not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
No, that is all on me. When we partied, like he's the most kumbaya person I know. We've never argued, never fussed, anything like that. Out of the 20 years I know him, we just started arguing maybe like last week about some small stuff, but never ever out of the 20 years I've known him ever. But
so when we separate, wait a minute, need to be held responsible for something.
No. So it's all on me. That is all literally on me. When we separated, we parted ways mutually, right? And I hate that we lied.
They're saying why you ain't marrying him.
But it's the truth though, Queen. It's okay.
You found the man out of all the men that don't do nothing wrong. Why you let him go?
Well, because I was younger. Like he's what 12 years older than me. So when I had my
there it is.
So earlier I said that like maturity makes a difference. Like he's a lot more. My daughter asked him that one. I swear. My daughter asked him the same thing. She was like, "Daddy, you was R. Kelly?" But no, I was.
Let me tell you my story. I gotta tell you how my story. Queen, I've been through the same thing. I have an older.
Jermeka,
I got a baby with an older man, and the fact that we were mutual, that was the best relationship I ever had because it was understood. It was very understood.
Right.
One thing about me as a mother, never put my children's father on child support. Didn't believe in putting them folks in their business. I was accountable because I didn't do my homework enough. I had a baby with somebody. I didn't know whether he wanted to be a father. I didn't ask the question. I didn't know what type of family history he had or background he had. I was just young. I made some mistakes. But the greatest mistake that I could have made was not understanding the fact that you can't make nobody love you with a baby or without. Some relationships just don't balance. It doesn't matter what type of person they are. It just doesn't fit. But as parents, we did. I never had to worry about child support. He would always tell me, "This is the time you come and pick up the money."
Look, a lot of people go out there, like you just said, some of the relationships don't fit.
So
some people will understand that a relationship don't fit, but still try to force it to fit and make a child with that person.
Yeah, but you don't make a child by yourself.
When they already knew it.
But at the same time, I wasn't worried about it because he took care of the child. He made sure he provided. He gave here's the thing. My third child, he made sure he provided for me and my other two. I always told me to Jermeka, don't never let the lights go off on my daughter. And as a mother, I understood exactly what he said. It wasn't honest. I always kept a job because I felt like child support was never something that you needed to stand on as your only income. I provided lights and bills and for my kids because I was the responsible parent. He was too. But at the same time, I didn't make it feel like, oh, you got to pay my light bill because we got kids. Because I didn't do my homework, I felt accountable for that. Because had I maybe found somebody who loved me and who wanted to be here and be a family man, but I didn't do that. And so I had to take account. But as my children growing up, he made sure that my daughters didn't want for nothing or her stuff. He said, "Jermeka, if he gave me $100, he'll give me $250. 75 for whoever, 100 for my daughter." He was just that type of person. He was that. He didn't have to. And that's the thing. Women have to understand. He didn't have to. He's not responsible for my life bill. He's not responsible. And so with that being, a lot of times women try to hold on and men try to hold on with a child. A child doesn't make a person respect you. They respect you because they respect what they use.
I think that goes back to maturity, though. Like
exactly.
Men now are not mature like that. Because they're more societal.
It's a lot of mature
men are societal thinking. No, see again, y'all always put it on the women. You always put it on women.
It is a lot of immature women out here. It's a lot of immature women walking around.
But what about the mature women? What about the mature women who are way past that, who are established, who are those that submissive
women?
What about them?
That's not submissive because you have order about yourself and how you're gonna raise your kids. That's not submissive. Submissive doesn't include just the way you do one thing or expect to do one.
A lot of these good women, you know where they at? I'm gonna tell you where they at. They married. They already.
No, that's not true.
A lot of these
good women. Let me tell you,
because they know how to keep a relationship.
That is not true.
It is the broke down women that's mad because they ain't got.
No, let me tell you who I feel mad. Women,
you ask what he good.
No.
They got your Mail Mann with their husband right now.
Man, I'm about to go on a cruise with my husband's baby's mother. We're gonna be gone for a whole week. We finna go get down. That immaturity, it matters. Because at the end of the day, those are my children's mother. I'm the wife. Some say stepmom, but me and her, and we finna go have a good goddamn on time, and it takes maturity.
But let me say this: mature women are the ones. Let me say this. Hold on, Reggie.
It's the
women. No, let me say this. There's sometimes there aren't women. Just because you're married doesn't mean that you're mature. Men marry for a lot of reasons. Wait a minute. And some women that are still stuck, there's a lot of women that feel stuck in a marriage, not because they're submissive, but because they feel like there's nothing else they can do because this man is the breadwinner and they like the materialistic bullshit. So they stay. So while this man goes and play around on them and bring them home, whatever. I know a girl that is married. She's been married for over 10 years. And on the outside, people think her marriage is perfect. But what they don't know is that man has already had 4 kids on her. And now she's raising those 4 children that he's had, in addition to the ones that they've had. And every day she's crying.
But what I'm saying, you can go ahead.
Go ahead.
What is the safe age limit for relationships?
There's no safe age.
I don't think there is I think it's maturity. I think if you're mature enough, like I said, my daughter's father is 12 years older than me. He didn't date me because I was a young, you know what I'm saying? Like I was out here. He dated me because I was a mature woman. He had a kid with me. You know what I'm saying? Like not because
that's why it was your fault. You got.
I never said I wasn't mature. You asked me what's wrong with him, and I said I take accountability for what happened after my daughter. So what I didn't express is that when he and I separated, we separated mutually. And I got into another relationship. I got into another relationship, and I found out I was pregnant while I was in that relationship. So maybe I was probably about 7 months pregnant when I found out that I was pregnant with my daughter. And instead of telling him that we had a kid, I wanted to preserve the relationship I had. We were engaged to be married. We were, going through wedding plans. And when he found out that I was pregnant, he still wanted to be there. He still wanted to be father for my daughter, even though she wasn't his. So selfishly, I need to tell you father. Right. So that's why I said I take accountability for that because I lacked in that area. I was selfish. I didn't give him the opportunity to know that he had a kid on the way. I decided to raise my kid with someone else.
How old were you when he was
That's crazy since you said that because we got the exact same story. Similar. So
I raised my kid, but let me say this. When I told my daughter's father.
Hold on, Steve said, how old was you?
I was 21, maybe 21.
That part. That age right
but I was already. But I was a mature person. I could have. I didn't want to mess up what he had going on. I didn't want to mess up what I had going on, and selfishly, that was a selfish decision that I made. But it didn't make me immature. I mean, like I said, I've always been established.
It doesn't make a person.
At 17, that made me selfish. That made me selfish. I was selfish in doing so. But let me say this: when I told this man that he had a daughter years later,
a maturity level would have said, "You know what? This is his child. Even though I want to be selfish, I'm mature enough to understand that the right thing
is child.
I'm mature.
Child is more important than my selfish ways."
I agree with you too, man, because I went through that. I didn't share.
My child was taken care of. My child was fine.
My child was taken care of too.
The maturity.
But at the same time, I had to look at the maturity level.
Look,
I had to look at the maturity level, and I had to say to myself, me and him had the situation, but his parents and his grandparents and her family didn't ask for it. I had the same thing, similar in nature, where I thought I had it together. I met a guy. He wanted to be there. He wanted to be the father. I didn't get the father. Come to find out, my child come from a very well family, but I didn't give her the opportunity to have. I struggled, and I didn't have to because
I struggled with my daughter, but
had I known, because I was one of those bullheaded parents. Well, I'm not gonna put my child father on child support. I'm gonna take care of myself, get 2 jobs. I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna work. I did all that at the same time.
That's what America do to these.
And I understand that because I didn't want to be the type of person that asked for anything. But I didn't want to go back and feel like I gotta come back to you. But I want to hurt my child. I want to hurt my child because of it.
No, you know you can't even get her to talk.
One thing what America does, America put that in the women's head. Hey, be a strong woman. Go on there and stand on your
America doesn't do that.
Nobody to do this. You can do this.
America doesn't do that. America doesn't do that. The abandonment does that. When men leave their families, it leaves that woman to feel both parts.
A lot.
Like woman. So you mean to tell me? So Steve, hold on, Steve. I can't hear you. What? Say it again.
How does the man walk away and feel after you done made a whole nother baby for a whole nother man?
No, that was just mine. That's me personally.
Situation.
That was me personally. Now, wait a minute. Now, I didn't have any issues when it came to that. When I told my daughter's father he had a kid, he went head first. He didn't go in on me. He didn't argue with me. He didn't yell at me. He said, okay. I said, I want to take this test. He said, I don't need one. And I know she looks like my kids. I said, no, we're going to take a test. We took that test. When that test came back that it was 99.999%, that man jumped in head first. Okay, the same day, he calls my daughter and says, hey, you got a father. You should be happy. You know, blase, blase. I'm on my way to come pick you up tomorrow. And it went from there. I've never had it because one thing about me, like I said, I'm a solid person. I'm a very loyal person. I'm a good person. I'm a good woman. So I don't have those issues when it comes to
your situation as an example. And speaking in general, when men go through situations like that, what are you expecting men how to handle it? Do you think all men know how to handle it?
Are you saying that you feel? Are you saying that you feel like I wasn't honest with the guy that I was with?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that cause and effect. Everybody gets damaged when situations happen. So it's neither the man's fault or the woman's fault. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody gets in situations.
Right.
But not
so
everybody always have all the answers. Right. If you always look at things all civil and look at things all nicely.
But Steve, that's how it should be as an adult. A whole other way. And it could have, and I was prepared for that. But again, I'm A+ certified. I have several certifications. Like I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being out.
You would say I'm a PhD.
Right.
Okay. I got a whole bunch of certifications.
I have different trades, and you know what I'm saying. I own 2 businesses. You know what I'm saying. So like I'm okay, and I was okay with it going a different way. I was prepared for that.
But don't speak about it personally.
I messed up, Queen. I messed up.
What I'm saying is,
what about the women that don't know how to handle it like you?
Right. So what I'm saying is that's where maturity comes in at. Relationships don't work because people are not mature enough to have hard conversations. They're not mature enough to have those uncomfortable conversations.
Hold on, stop right there. Now, with what you just said, this is how it's gonna come back to the topic. The topic is, why don't relationships last now in 2023, right? You just said that people are not able to have them hard conversations that need to be
realistic
the uncomfortable conversation.
Right. Who are the people? Is it the men that are more scared of the conversation, or is it the women?
It could be both. It could be both.
But it could be both. We know that both. We know that men. You got some men that's scared. We know
there's no gender. There's no gender when it comes to communication.
Gender neutral.
No, it's got to be a majority in order to win. It can't be a.
The question is why don't relationships work? Not why doesn't it work for men or women?
Or women, exactly.
There is no gender.
Because if you were to say 70% of women conversations versus 30% of men.
But we're talking about relationships, not people individually.
Not people in general, not a statistic. We're talking about facts.
You're asking about relationships. That's 2 people in a relationship.
Okay,
so
but
it don't necessarily
have to relationship. If I want to have a conversation, if I sit down and say, "Baby, we need to have a serious conversation," and you keep dodging the conversation,
but that could go both ways, Reginald. That could be for women,
man or woman. You have to have
there is no percentage because if 85% of relationships aren't working, you can't say it's because 70% of the women work.
You got to factor out who's the cause and
contributor. And then you got to talk about what conversation. Right, and then you got to talk about what conversation. Say what, Steve?
That it's not all on men.
Right, I can say that.
Because that's all I wanted to get at this whole conversation. Because y'all kept on throwing men under the bus.
And that's
no, don't say y'all. Don't say y'all. I said accountability plenty of times, Steve. Don't do that. I said accountability, and she didn't. And we all did.
Steve is a prime example of why relationships do not work. Steve, our relationship is not working right now because you decided to put words in my mouth.
It's you, Steve. It's you.
See, that's why I'm not in a relationship. You know?
Oh man. Hey,
I communicate too many of the hard questions, man.
hey,
listen, we already had it. You see what they did to Dunn, right? Don't do it, Steve. Don't do it, Steve.
Hey, I love it, man. I love it, man. So here's what I say, Brad. In my opinion, I say this. Men and women, we both know that both of them have flaws. There's no one that is flawless. All have flaws.
But I wish that men will understand that. More men will understand.
A little bit more. A little more. A little more. Just put a little more salt on it, baby. That's it.
When y'all do it like that, y'all make it seem like it's more men that are the problem.
I think there's more pressure on us as women. Men get to go
Leave the broil a little bit longer. That's it.
It ain't. It's not more. Okay, we don't end it. We don't get ready to close it out like this. Okay, look at it like this. You got women that saying that it's more men that's the problem. But obviously it can't be because you got men
in relationships,
bro are going over here and they're able to find wives and get married and have
but all they want is one thing. But hold on. All they want is one thing from those past wives. They want submission. They don't care if they got 2 teeth in the mouth, 1 foot hanging out the end. Let's keep it 100. Cause all of them don't. All of them ain't no bad. Ain't no bad. All of them ain't no bad. No divas now.
If they ain't got no teeth, they just go. I could probably understand why the man went with her.
Right. Hey, but look, Queen. Hey, they ain't showing the real pictures, sister. They ain't showing the real pictures. Them feet is ugly. Okay, understand?
But if he just doing her mouth, he ain't got to worry about her feet.
That right there, that part. You know, listen. I know I say this and I leave with it quickly. And I don't like men to do comedy. But you know they'll stick it in the bag as long as it won't, baby. A toaster strudel, a pop tart, long as it won't.
No,
Steve look like, oh my God, like where did this go?
Long as it got some cheese around the crust, they in it. You understand me?
Oh my God.
I think the thing where people try to do, obviously they're able to do something right if they're going over here to be. Women try to say the men are broken, lazy, and ain't doing nothing. You got to have money to be able to go.
There are a lot of men.
So they can't be broke and lazy.
That want women to take care of them, though. Seriously.
I mean, it is. It is me. I agree with you on that. It's a lot of lazy ass dudes out here. I'm not
when I moved here, this is the most backwards bullshit I ever seen in my life. Like there's so many men that live with their mamas and live with roommates. I'm like, roommates. I've never heard it.
Roommate.
I don't disagree, but I'm just saying we have to go on the majority. You can't just point the majority at the men and say it's the women. Because you know
right now, majority of our men
that's still living with their mama.
But that's the only issue we have. We have other issues that for when it comes to the men. We have men that are looking for other men. It's hard to equate and compete with something that we know nothing of. So it's not just women, the people with passport bro. It's us competing with other people, other men. It's other things that we have to compete with. Just us being women in general. As African American women, there's so much on the agenda. Every time you look on the internet, they're forcing the LGBT community in our faces. We have to deal with that. That's a whole nother subject, a whole nother podcast.
So can I get a clear? Can I get a clear understanding between the female perspective that it is the man's fault that relationships are not lasting in 2020?
No, I'm not gonna say that.
Okay. Hey, Jalisa.
Jalisa did what now?
we're gonna get ready to close out because Jaleesa on her date, and we're gonna see if her relationship gonna last on 2023. So
let's hope this will work out. Y'all
hey, let me go hope this will work out since she on her date doing the
We're
live.
gonna do a speed date with you, girl. We're gonna do the date update. Do the date update. Let us know what happened, girl.
This is why our relationship don't work, because y'all full of shit.
Hey, at the end of the day, I guess we need to figure out who's the majority of the fault. In my opinion, I feel like it's all in the picking. What's good with your homie?
Oh Lord, that's a business panel.
What's going on? We going live. Welcome.
Watch out.
So we gonna find out and see. I guess
Richard, there is no finding out. Like then we have to think about like what type of conversations that they don't have and all that. That's a lot.
No, we gonna pay attention because we gonna see how the relationship goes with all these things at the news, CNN report, all these different shows, and we're gonna see how many more people in the relationship.
I think Steve should be. Steve, I think you should come up with. You should read all of this stuff until come back to us.
Steve, we want a comic book behind this, Steve.
Because Steve believes it's the women.
Why does relationship not work? We want a full comic book, Steve. Okay, darling.
Accountability, man.
That's what we gonna have.
I think this is your homework, and then when we come and
see
each other next time, you have
your work.
Why you putting on me?
We want the pink book. We want the pink side and the blue side. Listen. We want the pink side and the pink side and the blue side.
Hey man, I love you, man. I think we came to the conclusion of the reason why relationships are not lasting in 2023 is because the women don't want to get right. That's what we all do.
That's what we came up with. Well, then I guess y'all need to go overseas then, because that's
right. Go ahead and get that passport, my brother. They said they send them at CVS.
Start taking her teeth out and
real talk,
and them feet hard and them covers. Don't you call us?
I take all the brothers from Buckhead for one, Steve. Thank you.
I think it's more real talk though. Our relationships are not lasting in 2023 because across the board, people are not growing up, man, and even people that are acting like kids. But in my personal opinion, I feel like you have men that accept more accountability than women. That's my personal.
Oh, lies! I'm hanging up.
How do you feel?
Okay, I feel personally that relationships are not working because maturity is at an all-time low, and that's just on both sides. Doesn't matter if it's male or female, but maturity levels and the value of a relationship is not the same as what we had with our grandparents and our grandmothers and everybody else.
So if you were looking at an accountability side, you saying that it's 50-50?
It's a 50-50 because at the end of the day, it takes some to give some. And if 50-50 is not understanding, there's no purpose of understanding at that point.
I mean,
if we can't meet at the board, there's no purpose.
It should be 50-50, but it's not. Well, really,
not always. It depends on the person who has the lowest number.
Because
that's who is on.
Accountable for themselves, so it should be 100-100. Because
it should be 100%. So one thing about it, two things short. In a relationship, it takes an understanding that I'm not always right, and it takes an understanding that sometimes I am right, but I also have to apologize even sometimes when I'm not wrong. So it's okay. It's perfectly okay. And the thing is, don't be so heavy on a relationship about stats and numbers. Just be ready to apologize, make love, and make more babies. And that's what I think that gets you through. And that's just me.
What'd you think, Steve?
Yeah, I like what she said. Just make love and have more babies, procreate. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I think we gotta understand that relationships should be more of a business transaction because you're building a foundation for a nation. Because when you have offspring, you're building your own little tribe. You know what I'm saying?
And not always offspring are involved, Steve.
Always what is involved?
Not always offspring are involved. Sometimes a relationship is your 401k. What you put in it is what you should expect to get it back. So if you put 30%, don't expect 1,000%. Expect what you put in it. And that is my closing.
It should be unconditional The love part,
Love.
unconditional, where there shouldn't be a percentage of a dollar amount or
Anything.
anything. You could be broke and
Exactly. I
poor,
like that.
and if you have real love, you're going to be good. You could be hella rich and wealthy.
Oh,
If you
Steve,
have
you
real
just
love, you're
touched
going
on
to
a
be
point,
good.
and we just touched on. You're right. It shouldn't matter about monetary gain, but the United
Right.
States push monetary gain in your head. That's why a lot of brothers are like to go in other countries, because a woman over there is, you don't have to make $1 million a year. But as long as you can make enough to be comfortable, that woman is respect you like a man here. If you make $50,000, $60,000, that woman overseas respect you. You make
Right.
But why does it take 50,000 or 30,000 to make a woman respect you? Why does it take monetary gain to make a woman respect you?
Great
You
question.
should you should have respect regardless of whether you're in Afghanistan or in Alabama.
I
Respect
agree with
goes
you on
the
that.
same way across the board.
I agree. So that's the question for the
And
ladies.
it doesn't require a passport. And it doesn't require a passport to have true love.
You're right, but why does it's the ladies that's always saying, "Oh, I need a man that makes 6 figures or more." So
But no, understand what a lady. Understand when you say the word lady. See, those are ladies, but you got to understand what is a woman. Because I could take that 30% and manifest into 70% and have a whole 100% when I'm done. I'm willing to, like you told me, I'm willing to invest in my 30%.
But see, a lot of these women nowadays don't want to put the work in. They want
and that ain't all 100%. That's only a few percent. So it is not monetized. So those few women who's willing to put the investment in, like myself, I don't need you to make more money than me. I need you to open the catch up. That is all.
If more men had women that thought like that, I think the relationship would be a lot more better.
That is all. I just need you to open the catch up. I got you. And guess what? You paid all the bills. We go to the restaurant, and you don't have it. I got you.
Unfortunately, we don't live in a average world where we be like that.
I got you. Matter of fact, here's the card. Make sure nobody see you. Here's the card, baby. Okay. Here's the card, baby. And that's the thing that I think that we lose focus on is the real value of what is love. Love has no monetary value. It has no right or wrong. It just feels good.
That's why you personally, you will never be without a man, because you are high commodity, because that's what men are looking for.
Thank you so much.
Saying is what a man, but you don't find a lot of that. Not here.
Right.
You don't find a lot of that.
So that's where the debate comes in. So
cry. I don't care about you crying. I like those little sexy little man tears. I love it. It's okay. It's okay. I know you have bad days. It's okay. It's okay.
Hey, I love it, man. I love it, man.
Hey, my brothers, I appreciate y'all for this podcast. This was by far the best. We have more to come. And as we grow and as we go, man, this thing only snowball effect.
Hey, I love it. I love it.
Hey.
Definitely. We're going to have a kick out this week. I would love to bring back on, because what I'm going to be doing this week is bringing in some different things that's going on, y'all, with, I don't know if y'all heard about the girl. I think she's in Florida. She stabbed a 2-year-old and then ate the liver.
Oh, yes. We're going to talk about
black or white?
Black. Black.
Signs of the time. Signs of the time.
Signs of the time. So we'll talk about it. We'll do our research on that. So it is always is talking with the I Am Mail Mann and with the Steve Paul creation. And let it be known that we have having a wonderful discussion, and I look forward to having another one. To the world. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Hey, I love it. Y'all be safe out there. We had a great conversation. Steve, thank you for coming on. Jay, thank you for coming on. And Jai is out on her date tonight, so we're going to see how long this is going to last.
Right, we're going to do an update on that. We're going to do an update on that.
Yeah, we're going to find out how the date went.
How did that go?
Right. She didn't want her man to hear none of this. She was like, hey, this ain't going to
All right, man. We out of here, y'all.
All right, good night, guys.
Good night.
Peace.